Today for Mousetrap Monday, we're going to do something I really enjoy doing, and that is building and testing out a mousetrap based off a patent drawing. It's hard to believe, but over the years there have been almost 5,000 patents for mousetraps. In my free time, I enjoy going to the US patent website and doing a patent search. And recently I discovered a fun and clever idea for catching mice. It's a trap that almost looks like a small dollhouse or a barn, and it uses a snap trap as a trigger, but it's not a kill trap, it's a live catch trap. It was first patented on December 31st, 1996, and it was invented by John Flinner of Lafayette, Louisiana. And the patent drawings are detailed enough to make a really good working model. So I'm going to take a piece of plywood to the workshop and start cutting. There's many different components and they all have to fit together. It's going to be fun testing out this idea to see if it works. I just cut the last board for our trap, which in total required making 13 pieces, including a roof, top, bottom, sides, a back door, and a sliding front door. And in the middle, a shelf to hold our trigger system. Now we also need hardware for the trap, which includes eye screws and hinges. I did make one modification. Instead of having a solid piece of wood for the front, I replaced it with clear plastic. That way we can see the animal enter, set off the trap, and we can see when we caught something. I'm going to attach all the pieces with wood glue so everything fits together, just like this. Our trap's much more complete. The roof is on a hinge, we have a trigger system with a sliding door, but before I show you how it works, I want to improve the appearance, so I'm going to spray paint it to look like a barn. Here's what our trap looks like when it's all complete and put together. It's painted red, we have a roof on it that's on hinges. It folds up and down. If we turn it to the back, you can see the hinges for the roof, the access door, you can pull the pin. That's where we put the bait. Now if we turn it to the front, you can see where the animal enters. They'll go in when that's open, and when they set it off, it'll come slamming down. On the back of the trap, there's slots on either side to fit the door. It slides up and down, but a major problem is it's pretty loose. If we catch a rat, it might be able to lift the door and escape. To fix that problem, we attach a rubber band right here. It almost acts like a slingshot. When set off, the door comes down much quicker, and it holds it down so nothing can lift it up and get out. The trap has two separate chambers, a bottom chamber and an upper chamber. The animal enters the bottom chamber through the door in the front, trying to get the bait at the back of the trap, right here. But before it can, it has to step on a pedal. The pedal is attached by a string to the trigger system on the upper chamber trap. You can see how that goes up and down. We'll go ahead and set the rat trap. Now the other key component is attached to the bar. We have a pin that fits in the door. When you pull that, it comes slamming down. We'll set that again. Now when the rat trap goes off, it will pull the pin forward and the door will close. To see if our trap works, we're going to test it out with our pet mice. Go on inside. Well, that didn't take long. That trigger is very sensitive. I can't wait to see if we can catch wild mice or rats in the barn. Let's go set up the motion cameras and see what happens. When I went to go check the trap, we caught a mouse, but I had some trouble. On the first night, when I set the trap, I left the barn, and within 30 seconds, the weight of the pedal caused the trap to go off and the door closed. So all night long, mice and rats came by, trying to get inside, but they couldn't. Now on the second night, I reset the trap, but I smashed my hand. That's one problem with this, is it's kind of difficult with the weight there on the pedal, but I was able to get it set, and it didn't take long to catch this mouse. It was feeding, eating the bait right there. Another mouse came by, scared it, and it jumped on the pedal. It worked perfectly. And later, a squirrel came by, checking things out. The door's kind of small. I don't know if we could catch a squirrel, but maybe we can catch a rat. Now, this is not a deer mouse, a native species. This is a non-native invasive house mouse. So I'm not going to let him go. Instead, I'm going to humanely dispatch it and feed it to wild animals. But I'm going to reset the trap one more time in the barn to see if we can catch a rat. So let's go set up the motion cameras and see what happens. Well, that was a bummer. I was really hoping to catch a rat in the barn, and even though there's a ton of rats and I left the trap for several nights, we didn't get one. The peanut butter and sunflower seeds wasn't enough to draw them in all the way to the back. Some of the younger rats went halfway. I thought we were going to get them, but these rats are so cautious. I've been trapping in that barn for a long time, and any rat that goes near a trap has already been killed off. So I think I'm creating a group of super rats. The ones that are passing on their genes are very cautious towards anything new. Over the years, I've encountered some extremely smart rats. One was even smart enough to set off a snap trap with a stick, then it'd come back and eat all the bait on the pedal. So I found that mice are easy to catch, but rats, they can be very difficult. Now I don't know if many people know this, but rats also love to eat mice. I left the mouse we caught in front of the trap, and in no time at all, a rat grabbed it and took it away. So rats definitely aren't vegetarians. They will eat meat, grain, whatever they can get for a food supply. Now for question and answer time, since everyone's stuck at home right now, I thought I'd answer more questions than usual. I know collectible items have value, but even my favorite things, I can't see paying more than a certain amount for them. Well, this question refers to something I mentioned in my last video, where I explained that I spend about $10,000 a year or more on mousetraps. That seems like a crazy amount of money. Who would waste that much money on mousetraps? Well, when you have a YouTube channel devoted to reviewing mousetraps, you can do that. The most of that expense is spent on very rare, antique, one-of-a-kind mousetraps. They don't come up for sale very often. Collectors will pay a huge amount of money for mousetraps, and about half the time, the price goes higher than I want to spend. And there have been times where I've paid over $1,000 for mousetraps. My collection's right over here on a shelf. You should do a mousetrap collection video. So here's just a small sample of the shelf here. This is some of my best stuff. These mousetraps are very expensive. For example, I just picked up this one. It's called the Faultless Rat Trap. Pretty unique. There's only 43 of these known. They sell between $400 and $500. So I'm excited to test it out. Might be a future video. Now, if you want to see a video of my mousetrap collection, I have over 1,000 mousetraps and I couldn't show you everything, but I might show you some of the best stuff. Okay, next question. You used rubber gloves this time. How come? I'm happy to see it. I was just wondering what changed. I've been getting this comment a lot. After years of posting videos where I handle dead mice and rats with my bare hands, recently I started wearing gloves. Gloves are actually really hard to find right now. They're disappearing off the shelves with face masks any kind of personal protection. Because this virus is such a scary thing, it's really shut down the whole world. We've had to stay at home, my kids can't go to school, so I thought it'd be wise to be more careful about diseases you get from animals. So I'm going to wash my hands more and wear gloves. Next question. Hello, Mr. Woods. I have a question. Why don't you show the pictures of the mouse, rat, squirrel, chipmunk, mole, vole, and gopher at the end of your video anymore? Well, thanks for the question, Kevin. I didn't even know if people would notice in the past few videos. I've left those out. It's been my standard ending for over a year, but recently life's been so crazy. With this virus, work's been extra busy, the kids are home all the time, and we have a new baby. So to get these YouTube videos done, a new video every Monday at noon, I've been having to stay up late on weekends. Oftentimes on Sunday night, in the wee hours of the morning, I'm editing and filming, and when I get to the very end of the video, it's just a few extra minutes to include those pictures, and if I'm too tired, I'll just start uploading it. And now recently I've been uploading in 4K, and I live in a very rural area with slow internet. It takes so long. My last video was 10 minutes long, and it took almost 14 hours to upload. So I'm really feeling the time crunch and I'm trying to get ahead. Okay, end of question and answer time. In my next video, I'm really excited to feature all these 3D printed mouse traps. I'm going to show you them and then test them out in the barn side by side to do a competition and see which ones work best. Recently, a YouTube viewer printed them for me that was pretty close. I went to his house the last day before we were quarantined and supposed to stay at home. So 3D printed mouse traps next Monday at noon. Thank you so much for watching, for all the subscribers. If you haven't subscribed, please consider clicking the button right here. I posted almost 600 videos on YouTube, and currently I'm posting a new video every Monday. So if you want to see the best videos on how to catch mice, rats, squirrels, chipmunks, moles, voles, and gophers, stay tuned.